On this all-new episode of The Recipe Show, Kansas City mentor Dre Taylor stops by to tell us how he aims to turn males to men, the importance of being present in the community, and what it's like being an aquaponics expert. He is definitely a man that wears many hats. Tune in to hear the recipe for his success. Stay tuned and let's get into it.
Hello, welcome to The Recipe. I have here with me today Dre Taylor.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I'm here to interview you today.
Right.
I've did a little research about you, and from my understanding, you're a mentor, correct? And you're also into aquaponics, correct?
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, I'm going to ask you a few questions about your mentoring. I'm very interested in that because I feel it's important in this day and time to have mentors for the young girls, the young men, and give them something to look forward to instead of the instant gratification, if you will. So again, your mentoring program, can you give me a little insight on that?
It's called Males to Men. Our mission is to raise strong, conscious, productive young men and reestablish accountable and productive leadership in the community. So started mentoring with that program back in 2013. The reason I started was I started mentoring with Big Brothers Big Sisters back in 2008. I seen a lack of black mentors, but half of the kids was black in the program, and so I thought I could have a bigger impact by starting my own program and servicing more kids. And so from 2008, I worked with other mentoring programs, and in 2013, I eventually started my own.
Oh, okay. So 2008 is when you started, correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so you're in, 11 years strong?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. And how dedicated are you?
Pretty dedicated. Like I said, been mentoring, doing a lot of things in the community, probably the last 10, 12 years, helping out different groups, working on my own stuff, mentoring, giving back. So just seeing the need, grew up, on 51st and Warren, Euclid, and, seeing those things happen there and seeing the lack of mentors and the stuff we grew up with. And so I wanted to have a bigger impact and provide something that wasn't there when I was a youth.
Okay, alrighty. So did you grow up in a single parent household or did you have both parents?
Pretty much. My stepfather rode in probably when I was probably 9 or 10, so grew up with him. My father was around. I always seen him, on the weekends. We stayed with our grandparents on the weekends. So I was always raised in a two-parent household, and I always had my father available, my two grandpas. So there was always a man around. So I understood what it means to, grow up with a man.
Yeah, and that definitely is a blessing. And also considering that you grew up in the heart of the inner city, 51st and Euclid was pretty, rough back then, and not getting caught up in the system, if you will,
Yeah, I mean,
You kinda smell.
for the most part, yeah, I grew up there, but then my mom moved us out to Johnson County, so I'll be in Johnson County for school, and then I'll come back to the city on the weekends, and so, just watch, after seeing, half of your friends end up dead from 51st Street, and then you say, okay, what can I do to prevent that from happening? So just doing my part, playing my role. So
Okay, very good. What is the age limit for this mentor? It's called
Males to Men.
Males to Men
Yeah,
program.
so we have ages 9 to 17 is the limit. We have probably about 50 boys total. Probably ran about 100 boys through our program since 2013. We do a lot of stuff with the boys. We partnership with the Black Pilot Association, so we send our kids to fly in private planes owned by black pilots around Kansas City, so they fly over downtown, Roads of Fun, Arrowhead Stadium, the Plaza. We sent a couple of kids to Oshkosh, Wisconsin to actually learn how to fly planes. We've been to City Market the last 3 years working down there on the weekends, so we won't be there this year. But we try to provide opportunities for them to, see, experience different things that, they wouldn't be exposed to. And so we've been hunting before. It's a lot of things we do with the boys. We
Okay.
reward them $100 for 3.0 grade point averages in the core subjects of math, science, history, English. And like I said, we do fun stuff as well. So
Okay. Alrighty. And how long is this program? Can they stay in the program as long as they want, or they eventually like maybe graduate and
it's ongoing. It's ongoing.
Oh, it's ongoing.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
ongoing. So they just go to the website, mailstomen.com, call me up, fill out the registration. They can drop their boy off that day, and they can start the program. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. on every Monday across the street from the greenhouse, now Valley Aquaponics at 2905 Wabash. And we just take them on from there.
Okay, so there's no waiting list
No
like the
waiting
other.
list.
Okay.
It's a waiting list for big brothers, big sisters. So those who want to do something was always talking about stuff. It's about 300 kids waiting on the waiting list for
Wow.
probably about 6 months is probably the average time those kids are waiting. So all those people talking about they want to do something, don't know what to do, go get one of them kids at Big Brothers Big Sisters and mentor, because half of them kids are black. So it makes no sense that we out at the club, we two-step and doing all this stuff, but we can't find the time to mentor these kids.
You're absolutely correct. I concur with you as far as that is concerned. You guys, you hear that? Go get the kids and help them out. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Now, another interesting thing that you're doing, Dre, I'm really impressed, is the aquaponics.
Mm-hmm.
Give me insight on that. Tell me exactly what is aquaponics.
Aquaponics is raising fish and vegetables in a system using the fish waste to supply nutrients to your plants. And so we have about close to 25,000 fish in our system, about 50,000 gallons of water. We feed the fish, they poop and they pee, and so that's the nutrients to our plants. And so we recirculate the water, and that water supplies the nutrients for our vegetables able to grow.
Okay. What is the difference between aquaponics and hydroponics?
Hydroponics doesn't use fish. It's
Okay.
just like some kind of fertilizer, liquid fertilizer.
Okay. Is that how tilapia is made?
Tilapia, it gets a bad rap. Tilapia gets a bad rap because people don't understand. They say it's a man-made fish, but I don't know how you're gonna make a fish. It is what you feed it, and so we don't feed our stuff like they feed it in China. They feed it all kind of stuff, and so I wouldn't advise anybody to eat tilapia from China. I actually visited China to breed insects, to learn how to breed insects on a commercial scale. So I breed insects in my facility called black soldier-fly larvae. So I went to Guangzhou, China. They was like the biggest breeder of these insects, and so I wanted to learn how to do it. And so instead of feeding my fish regular feed, I can feed them these insects to my fish, and so it's natural. They use these insects for medical purposes, so they squeeze out the juices of them to heal certain illnesses and diseases in people. So we actually feeding our fish natural antibiotics. So
Okay.
it's a lot of science in the aquaponics, and so that's some of the things we also teach our boys as well.
Okay. So what are you, a scientist? What's going on with you?
Nah, I didn't go to school. Didn't go to school for it. Agriculture, went to school for communications, played football, messed up both of my knees, and I didn't finish. And so my uncle introduced me to aquaponics back in 2011. I met one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in the world named Will Allen. He came to Kansas City because he grows like 1 million pounds on 3 acres. He was like
Wow.
Michelle's Obama, is like a health initiative person, and so he's real famous. He probably trained close to 3,000 farmers, and so that's like my mentor. And so I go up to Milwaukee every now and again, talk to him, see what he's doing. And so once I met him in 2011, I want to do the same thing. So 2013, I started my mentoring program. I want to teach my boys about giving back, growing food, entrepreneurship. So I said, what better way than aquaponics? So we built a small little system out the school we was mentoring out of, Grayson, which I was intended on 51st and Chestnut. We was in the basement there. We had a smaller aquaponics system. We used to bring funders down there to see it. And we started growing our fish and our vegetables, and we was able to obtain land on 29th and Wabash. And that's pretty much where we started, from the basement of 51st and Chestnut to now the Now Valley Aquaponic project on 29th and Wabash.
Wow. Wow. So you're dedicated to this.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty
and
much.
and really it takes a lot of dedication to get things done. A lot of people feel like it happens overnight, and it doesn't. Explain your dedication and what makes you continue to go and not give up or throw the towel in? Because I know that maybe things are not all what it seems in the beginning. Tell
Right.
me a little bit about that, the ingredients to that.
Yeah, it's definitely a sacrifice. You know, you got to put that time and effort in. It's 7 days a week. It's no days off. You know, I got goats I got to feed. I got fish I got to feed every day. You know, I got community involvement. I got kids I got to pay. I got a payroll. You know, I have to make sure I make. And so there's a lot of different elements that you have to work with. People are depending on you. The community's depending on you. You have kids that come to my facility every day after school wanting to work. And so I'm able to pay them to do certain things around the greenhouse. And I got a solid group of kids that from the neighborhood that help out the greenhouse. And so, you know, they depend on me. So it's not like I can just give up and stop, you know, because like I said, the neighborhood is watching. People are watching from all over, you know,
Yes.
looking at some of the things we're doing. And so, you know, that what keeps me motivated.
Okay, so that's your main motivation is because you have people that are depending on Dre to make it happen for them or give them the motivation to keep going.
Yeah, that's portion of it. Portion of it is like I said, we're trying to build and build in other places, and we're trying to create the first urban ag franchisable model in the country with our program. And so we want to tear down our facility currently. We're working with HOK Architectural Design Firm to actually build out our new facility. And so once we get that built, we plan on implementing those in a lot of different cities and even, you know, some other places outside the country who's interested in, like the Philippines, or interested in the project. And so once we get it built, we'll be in those places trying to implement what we're doing here in Kansas City.
Okay, all right. Now, do you have children?
No children.
No children.
Just the ones I mentor and the 13 goats.
Okay, all righty, all right. So you have no children. So this is, you know, that's interesting. You know, normally,
Normally,
you know, you have children, and this is how you become that mentor.
Right.
You know, as far as, you know, the children are concerned, but for you not to have children and to dedicate yourself, and what I mean by normally, you know, if it's a man that has a child, he has a child that's into football. So this is how he'll get started, you know, going to the football games and, oh, I can be a coach or I'm going to be a part of this.
Right.
But just to get up and say, I have no children and I'm getting ready to work with children, that speaks a lot, you know, because normally that's how it starts. At least that's my opinion. What do you
right.
think?
Yeah, that's normally how it starts. You associate it by, you know,
Yeah.
things you're interested in. But for me, it was like I said, growing up and half your homeboys are dead, and you know you see the need for that, and you know, you're like, what can I do? I got a part to play. So in 2008, I think I attended the Barack Obama thing at Liberty Memorial, and he said, "Be the change you want to see." And so that's when I first started and did the mentoring with Big Brother, Big Sister. So let's do my part here, and that what initiated. I ain't a big Barack Obama fan, but that's what initiated the,
Okay,
the
all
thing.
right. So that's what got it started. That's
Yeah,
what got
pretty
you
much.
started. Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanted to walk the walk and not just talk it.
Basically.
Okay, all righty. Now, is this a hobby for you or is this a career for you?
The mentoring.
Both. We can talk about the mentoring.
Yeah, mentoring is doing what needs to be done. You know, the aquaponics is a career. You know, that's how I get paid.
Okay.
I have a 501c3 nonprofit, so you know I write grants. We're funded through there, so you know I have to learn how to write grants to get my project going, and so that's an ongoing process of continuing to get funding from different funders. But you know now I'm interested into the hemp and cannabis as a for-profit entity. So yeah.
Okay. Now, they're going to vote, right, in June?
They're gonna.
Give me a little information about
So-
that. Explain
so-
that to me.
Okay, so the medical marijuana, they're putting out the rules and regulations in June. That way you know what to put the application for. They're going to vote on it in August, or no, December, but the applications are due in August. And
Okay.
so you can apply up to 11 different licenses, 3 cultivation, which is growing, 5 dispensaries, and I think 3 manufacturers, which make edibles or extractions.
Okay. All right. So you said 11 different
Uh-huh.
applications are
Yeah.
available for you
Yeah.
to apply for in June, correct?
Correct. We'll
Okay.
apply for it in August.
In August.
Right.
Okay. June is when it starts.
Yep. So
August
you
is
know
when
what's on the papers application. Yep.
you apply, and then when will we have a final decision?
In August.
In
Not
August?
yeah,
No,
December. Sorry, December.
December.
Yeah,
Okay,
December.
December, whether
Yeah.
it's a yay or a nay.
Yep.
All righty.
Pretty much.
What are your plans if the law passes?
My plans is I'm planning on doing cultivation, which is growing, uh, extraction or not extraction and manufacturing, making edibles out of the products, and then also dispensary. And so
Okay.
it's called fully vertically integrated. So you're growing it, you're manufacturing the products, and then you're actually selling them. So that's called fully integrated. When you have all three different licenses.
Okay. What do you think? What is your take on medical marijuana?
Medical marijuana, it has its benefits. Me personally, I never smoked weed, which people don't believe. I never smoked it.
Neither have I.
I might
Well,
have
no, I'm
been
gonna take
around
that
it.
back because people are watching. Maybe once or twice in my life. But go ahead. But no, I'm not a smoker. But go ahead.
Yeah, I might have had it or, might have been around it,
Yeah.
my younger days, but I never smoked it, felt the need to smoke it. But I think it's beneficial.
Oh,
I
really?
think it's a way for to bring economics into the community. So I've been advocating for more inclusion with minorities in medical marijuana or cannabis because we represent less than 5% of the people in the business. But as far as getting incarcerated, we make up over 60% of the people that's been incarcerated for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I've been advocating down in Jeff City, trying to advocate for more inclusion or some kind of program, equity programs to be more involved in cannabis.
Okay. All right. So you don't feel like, me personally, I feel like it's just a way to legalize marijuana, to capitalize off of it, due to the fact that this is a capitalism society,
Right.
Like liquor. Do they need the medical marijuana? I don't think so personally.
Do the people need it?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of benefits from it, that they've been hitting that people know of getting off certain diseases or illnesses that help out a lot of people, especially like suffering and pain, by taking this. And so there's a lot of studies done on the benefits of it. It's just been hidden from us. I mean,
Okay.
so we grew up used to just knowing that people were smoking just to smoke.
For recreation.
And for recreation, not knowing the medicinal benefits of it.
Okay.
And what it's good and used for. And so now, as it coming to light, now it's all of a sudden medical. You know what I mean? As opposed to just recreation we've been used to. And so now they have the term medical, and now that's a whole different offset. We have to get accustomed to it being medicine and not just recreation because we grew up seeing it being used for recreational ways.
Exactly. And I was reading a while back where they were wanting more minorities to come in and do the distilleries and different things like that. What do you think that's about? Have you heard that? Or
I haven't heard anything about them wanting
they were
more.
announcing it on the radio.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about them wanting more. It's one of those things where it's a big boy game where you have to have capital, you have to have money. So if you want to do a cultivation facility, which is growing, they want you to have at least $500,000 worth of assets. And so if you don't have $500,000 worth of assets, then don't even think about getting a cultivation facility
Okay.
growing it. So that excludes a lot of minorities from getting into it because it's called a barrier of entry. And so it's hard for a lot of people to get into it because you don't have $500,000 worth of assets. And so you have different groups from different states that own multiple companies and trying to get in here already in Missouri to start growing. And so it limits the amount of participation for minorities to actually get in.
Okay. Now, from my understanding also, a lot of people are selling their homes, residents are selling their homes in Kansas and coming over to Missouri.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about that? Or
Yeah,
what is your take about, this is a lot.
Yeah, some people view it as medicine. And so, it's been cases where, kids have seen parents have seen the benefits of this medicine, this cannabis. And so they've moved to Colorado because of this, the benefits from this cannabis and using this cannabis. And so, I've heard of it. I don't know anybody personally, but I've heard instances of. I take that back. I heard a couple instances of people just moving because of the benefits of this plant.
Yes.
And so a lot of people don't understand the benefits. A lot of education needs to be done as far as getting out there and understanding the medicinal purposes of this cannabis plant, as
Okay.
opposed to just the recreational we're used to.
Okay, exactly. As far as the property, what type of land do you need to start a distillery and grow, and what does it take?
If you're gonna do it, some people do it indoor.
Okay.
Indoor facility, which is not the smartest because it's a lot of upfront costs. The best thing to do is probably in a greenhouse to grow because it's less upfront cost, and when the price per pound to grow it in the greenhouse is a lot cheaper or less expensive to grow as far as indoor grow. So you need to be somewhere, somewhere not probably in the city.
Okay,
You
now
know what I
that so I
mean?
can't do it in my, put it right next door to my neighbor and
They have
start
they,
something. You,
they,
you
they
want
have
to be in a
rules.
rural area.
They have like 1,000 feet limit from like a school and a church.
Okay.
As far as dispensary and cultivation. So you really don't want to be inside of a city with the cultivation because you have to deal with the smell of it, and so you have to have odor control when you're growing it. And so you don't want neighbors complaining that we smell weed coming from this grow house. And so you want it kind of outside of maybe city limits. And you don't want people breaking in your facility because it's basically you have a bank. You basically have a bank, so you have to have a lot of security. So you might have a couple $100,000 worth of product at one point in time
Wow.
inside of there. So you have to have security
But
involved in your application, a security plan, and for
when you say
security,
security, what cameras or what are you?
cameras, armed guards.
Oh, really?
You're looking at armored trucks to move your money and your product because, like I said, you have two or three
Wow.
hundred dollars worth of products, and so you have to be able to secure it.
Okay. Um, Question. So once you start this distillery,
Dispensary,
I said distillery, dispensary.
right?
Once you start, is it someone that comes in and teach you how to continue? How do you learn how to grow it? Is it just basically taking the seed and planting it? Tell me, how does this
No,
work?
it's more advanced than that. You just ain't gonna start off just growing weed. Just like, okay, you have to have some kind of background in growing it. Most people are bringing in people who've grown it before, either underground growing it in the past, or
Yes.
bringing in people from like California, Oregon, or Colorado to be like their head growers to grow. So if you bringing in somebody, you're looking anywhere from 80K to $150,000 for like a head grower. And so this is
To
why,
pay them?
to pay them to grow your product because you're talking about making millions of dollars. So these are the people who are gonna get you that money. So you need to
Really?
pay them that top dollar to grow your product.
So how do you find them? Are they on the internet or
You
back
have to do
pages or no? I'm just
back
Google them.
pages, back pages. You have to do your due diligence. You know what I mean? You have to travel. So
Okay.
I've been traveling all around the country.
Looking for a grower.
Not I have growers. You
Oh,
know what I
you do.
mean? Yeah, I have growers. So yeah, you have to do your due diligence on finding those people. I mean,
So
it's a
you
business.
use plural growers, the S. Why do you need more than one?
Because you have different phases of growing. So you grow it. You have your mother plants you have to take care of. Your mothers, you cut them to get clones. Those clones are what you start to start your vegetation state. So vegetation is just basically growing to a certain point, maybe 3 weeks to a month. And then you put them in a flowering state. And so when they go to flowers, when you're going to get the buds. And so there's different stages of planting and a lot of maintenance, insect pest control. You got to worry about spider mites and powdery mildew. It's a lot of different things you have to worry about when you're growing because you don't want to mess up your product because if you lose your product, you're going to have 4 months of work going down the drain. And so that's a lot of cash that you can miss out on if you don't have the right grower, know how to grow your stuff. And so you want to make sure you get the right and best people in order. And so you need more than one person to run your operation.
Okay. How do you get your customers, your clients?
Customers, I think like any business is marketing, getting out there,
Okay.
branding. That's going to be one of the biggest things out there is trying to establish yourself as a brand and market out there and get out in the public. And so you can have a good quality product, but that don't mean you're necessarily going to be able to sell it. And so finding a way to attract that market to actually sell your products.
Okay. And I know that they named the different cannabis. Am I cannabis? Different names.
Right.
This is this, and
Right.
this is Dre, and
Right.
and they go, oh, this is the best deal, or this is this, or I like this, and this is the stick, and you know, will you name your different plants and or what is it, strands, or what is it,
Yeah, strains.
strains? Yeah.
If I get the licenses, it's possible, but I will. But it comes with a lot of breeding,
Okay.
a lot of genetics, what they call genetics, and so you have to learn how to breed and crossbreed different strands to get an end product. And so this takes a couple years to do, and so you just don't come out with a strain. This is a Dre strain. No, it takes 2 or 3 years to get the right genetics to grow a certain strain to produce whatever quality you're trying to produce. And so it's not something that happens overnight. And so it's a lot of science behind, getting those genetics and strains to achieve what you want to achieve in your product.
Okay. So how much would you sell one deal for?
What's the one
Joint
deal?
or whatever, reefer.
Reefer. I mean,
I'm having fun, you guys.
Yeah,
Loosen up.
reefer.
Maybe it's the drink.
It just varies, it varies. We don't know what the market is going to command for in Missouri, price per pound. And so they're waiting to see exactly what the market is going to demand for. And so it can be anywhere from $2,000 per pound to, down to $1,500 a pound. And so nobody knows right now what the price is going to be here in Missouri. So it's a waiting game.
Okay, all right. And some of the people that are doing this, you have the burner, and I think Mike Tyson has a deal going on right now.
Yeah, he's in Palm Springs. Actually did an interview with his daughter like about a month ago.
Oh, really?
At a Tyson Ranch Festival. So they're doing some things up there, like a 400-acre ranch.
Whoa.
Up there. So he's heavily involved, and I got some friends who's doing a project right next to his.
Okay.
In Coachella in California.
Okay, all righty, all right. Sounds interesting. Okay, well, make sure you name a strand or string. How do you say it?
Strain.
String after me.
All right.
The recipe. This is the recipe.
Right.
All right. So, last but not least, tell me a little bit about who is Dre. Tell me who you are. What's your sign?
Capricorn.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Capricorn. Okay, go ahead.
What's the Jesus
Don't
Christ
worry
about?
It. Don't worry about it. I'm ready to get you out of here. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah,
Tell me a little bit about you. What school did you go to?
Yeah, I'm a Capricorn. I graduated from Olathe East High School.
Okay. You don't have to reveal the year. What, last year? 'Cause you don't look
something
at,
like that.
It was a day over 20.
99.
99,
So
okay.
yeah, graduated there. Went to play football at Coffeyville, like 5 minutes from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Johnson County Community College. Sat out a semester. I messed up my knee at Coffeyville. Messed up my MCL and ACL. Went to University of Missouri. Was doing everything I was supposed to be doing, except schooling. And so left there and pretty much went on and went into the working world, doing all kind of different things, working from the city, selling insurance, trying to figure out my path.
Okay.
And then it's finally stuck with the aquaponics and mentoring. And so I've been doing this since like I said 2011.
Okay.
So basically that's me. I love to travel. I'm a homebody. I don't haven't had a TV on a TV in like 7 years.
Do you have a cell phone?
I have a cell phone. I have a
Okay.
laptop.
Okay.
So I just don't watch TV. I try to invest my time and energy into stuff where I'm not trying to work the rest of my life. And so I have a 5-year retirement plan, and that's why I work 7 days a week and get into this cannabis and more so hemp. And so I don't really talk about the hemp CBD hemp.
Okay.
And so the CBD hemp is more lucrative than actually cannabis. And so I plan on getting into cannabis because it's going to be used for over 300 different products, and plan on creating a cannabis or hemp farm to do primarily hemp products, CBD products. Yeah, CBD, basically. Yeah.
All right. What does CBD mean?
CBD is more of a medicinal. It doesn't get you high. It's still the cannabis plant. And so the difference between CBD and THC is THC gets you high, CBD don't get you high. And so CBD is used for different things, like if you have pain, like back pain. My mother had back pain for like the last 4 or 5 years, and so she used to sleep like a heating pad or machine. So I gave her some CBD products from a friend in Oregon, and now she sleeps better, don't have that same pain. And so
Wow.
it's a natural plant, and so people understand the benefits of this cannabis plant. And so that's what we'll be growing is this CBD plant for different purposes, going in different products, infused and edibles. And so you can do the same thing in edibles as you can with medical marijuana or cannabis as you can with CBD.
Okay. Now, when you say the edibles, do you have someone that's going to prepare those edibles for you, or are you going to do them yourself and try to master that too, Dre? I mean, what
No,
are you going to,
no, I won't. I
you're going
won't
to have
be. I
like 20
won't.
projects going on.
Yeah, I won't
It's
be doing it.
24 hours
I
in a day.
do. Yeah, I
Jesus.
do cook, but I don't. I won't. Be trying to infuse my own stuff. So, talking to some people on infusing some of those products, and got somebody I'm interested in California who actually do a catering company on, particularly just infused cannabis and CBD meals and foods, and so probably bring them down here to ingrain what we're trying to do here in Kansas City. So,
Wow. So
working a lot of different stuff.
this is serious shit. This is serious business.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah,
work. I've
you
been.
meals and what type of meals are the weed is in
Yeah, I
what?
mean everything. I mean, I went to Milwaukee. I had my mentor. I was up there maybe a little over a month ago. He was doing like CBD eggs. We had fried chicken with hemp powder, flour. That was feeding the fish hemp pellets. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And so, like I said, this can be used over 3,000 products, and this is like the entry level for hemp. And so, this is the Farm Bill just passed, 2018 Farm Bill,
Okay.
legalizing hemp to be grown in all these different states. And so,
All
this is
right.
a reason to get into hemp because it's entry level and it's like a boom. It's like the internet boom. If you get in early, you have a chance to make a lot of money,
All right.
before it bottoms out. And
All right.
so,
And this is 500,000 to
no,
start.
this is different. This is it's a lot less money to get into. And so
Okay.
here eventually, pretty soon, I'll be holding a workshop on how to get into CBD hemp processing. So like I said, I've been traveling the country, meeting different people. I got a strong hemp team from all over.
Okay.
So introducing people to hemp and how they can actually make money from it. And so
Okay.
I'm looking at close to getting maybe 100 acres and being able to provide opportunities for people to get in on this acreage.
Okay, Dre, a question for you. Can you give me the ingredients for your success? I need you to tell me this for others, the audience and people that will be viewing this. What is your ingredients for your success?
Investing your time and energy in you, doing whatever it takes to invest in yourself. Like I
Okay.
said, I don't spend a lot of time. I don't waste a lot of time on people, energy. I straight looking forward and all positive things I try to put my energy into. I'm able to take whatever funds I have and invest in me, whether it's traveling to China, whether it's, going to Toronto and traveling to different cities to find these people to move me forward. And so you won't find me hanging around wasting time, doing a lot of stuff that people are doing for leisure. I got a 5-year retirement plan I'm trying to get to, so I don't plan on working the rest of my life. So that's my motivation is to be able to get this stuff done now and grind until it get done and, finding like-minded individuals. And so I have a small circle of people I hang around. If you're not, in my same uh, or, excuse me, on get where I'm trying to get to, then, we really don't have too much to talk about. I'm focused on whatever I'm focused on, and I'm just looking forward. I ain't got no time to look back. I ain't got no time to stop. I'm grinding, so I'm trying to teach kids. The sign of a good teacher is when a student surpasses the teacher. And so I'm trying to teach these kids so they can take over the greenhouse and do it, in 3 to 4 years where I'm not there. It's there for the community and they can take it on and do what they need to do with it. So I don't see myself doing, everything for the rest of my life. I'm grinding to get out of it. So
Okay. So you believe in passing the baton.
yeah, have to
All right.
pass the baton. That's a sign of a good teacher. I'm not trying to hold on to the rest of my life. I'm trying
Okay.
to move on and
Exactly. That's
live my
right.
life and travel different countries and move somewhere other, maybe to Ghana or Dominican Republic, and live my life, the good life. So
Okay. All righty.
that's my
All
my
righty.
motivation.
Okay, very good. Well, thanks for giving me the ingredients. So what you do is you mix the ingredients up, stir it up, and this is how you get the success, correct?
Right.
All righty. All right. Well, and last but not least, everybody, I understand that it is a dispensary,
Dispensary, not distillery.
not distillery. You know,
You make beer out of a distillery.
I'm thinking of distillery. You know,
Right.
distillery. All right. Thank you so much once again. I appreciate you.